Today's video is sponsored by Forever Pick. Each guitar pick is handmade by luthier Robert S. Paul in Chicago, Illinois. Enjoy a rainbow of tone when you take advantage of 25% off by clicking the link in today's show notes.
Today at Robert's Guitar Dungeon, we are checking out the 2017 Gibson Faded SG Special. As opposed to a typical guitar demo, where I would normally play a clean tone and a distorted tone on both pickups and, kind of try and give an idea of what everything sounds like on it. And I am going to do all that stuff with this guitar. I thought it would also be interesting to compare the 2017 Faded SG Special, which was loaned to me by a friend and loyal viewer, by the way. Compare this guitar to my 2007 guitar of the exact same, basically the exact same model, and see how far Gibson has come in the last 10 years. So, yeah, I know that this guitar technically came out 2 years ago, but 10-year difference, and there hasn't been that much that's changed since the 2017 line and the current 2019 line as of this recording. I'm not necessarily comparing tone between one guitar to the other because one of them obviously is 10 years older than the other, and more specifically on mine, I have made several modifications to mine. Mine has the tuners have been upgraded as well as the pickups. Tone-wise, they are going to sound different because of that alone. So this isn't necessarily a comparison of tone as much as it is features, playability, and quality. So, with that in mind, let's check out some guitar tones. Wow, I am actually very, very impressed because Gibson has really stepped up their game with the faded SG Special. And, you know, comparing it to mine, you know, mine can, you know, this, let's start with the main features on the current model. And this, you know, the current model, by the way, the 2019 models, it really has not changed any. So, from what you were seeing here. Okay, so let's start with the, you know, the basic specs. Of course, solid mahogany body, maple neck. It actually looks like a bit of a flame maple, to be honest. I don't know if that's not intentional, but this particular piece is a good-looking piece of maple. Let's see, you know, 490R, 490T, you know, basic pair of 490 pickups. That is actually rosewood fretboard, according to Gibson's website. So, if you are concerned about the, you know, CITES treaty and Gibson's supply of rosewood and what they may have been using in its place on this guitar, no need. They used rosewood. The nut is what they call a tectoid nut. They claim it as a self-lubricating, you know, a very a self-lubricating type of nut, so that you don't have to worry about string binding. Up here at the headstock, which is certainly a problem, and I'll get to that on mine. You know, of course, Gibson Deluxe Cluson style tuners. You know, that's the essentially the meat and potatoes of the specs on this guitar. Slim taper neck, they call it, and I believe that is the same spec that mine has on it. This is one of the best playing Gibson necks I have gotten my hands on in a long time, and this neck actually feels, it's not quite as wide, but, you know, it is, you know, it's more of a traditional, you know, the nut width is the same. Beyond that, it's really close to the, like the 61 SG neck, which in my opinion is the best neck that, you know, one of, if not the best neck that Gibson makes. Just a really good playing, fast playing neck. And, that's what this one feels like. Just absolutely plays fantastic. I ran both guitars through my trusty Tone City Model M, which is basically a Marshall in a box and creates a Marshall tone very faithfully. And this thing, you know, puts out some great tones. You know, you can't, at least I can't seem to pick up an SG without playing AC/DC and, you know, wanting to try and make it sound like a Marshall. And, you know, to me, it does just that. It stays in tune very well. I had no tuning issues, no crazy G string thing popping out of tune, like a lot of Gibsons are known for. It stays in tune very well. It plays well. It sounds, you know, these pickups are great. They sound really good. Now, this is my guitar. This is my 2007 faded SG Special. Same guitar, just 10 years earlier. This guitar is, it's special to me because it was my first Gibson. My mother actually bought this for me for my 30th birthday. I just turned 41 this past weekend, in case anybody's wanting to know how long I've had it. You know, so because of that, it's special to me, and I'll never get rid of it. It's very quirky. Honestly, it's not the best guitar that I own, but I do play it. You know, because it has its place. But the pickups, it also came with a set of 490s in it. And they were pretty much the first things to go because I just didn't like the sound that they produced out of this guitar at all. Same bridge and tailpiece, you know, pots and everything are the same on it. You know, the knobs are actually a little bit loose on the new one versus mine are actually, you know, pretty tight. That's, you know, one advantage that mine does have on it. The neck is a much fatter neck, and actually the frets are not sharp. But the corner of the fretboard is, you know, the corner of the fretboard is very sharp. And, you know, it's a sharp 90 degree, and it's not the smoothest playing neck in the world. And, you know, it never has been. You know, like I said, just because it was my first Gibson and because it's, you know, it's as sentimental to me as it is, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, I just learned to live with it. You know, I also did change out the tuners. It came with the same tuners that this one had, but for some reason mine did not want to stay in tune at all. You know, I think you probably heard as I was playing a solo there in the demo that the G string pulled right out of tune, and as it does. So this one has a traditional bone nut. It does not have the new self-lubricating tectoid nut that the new models have. You know, it does have a rosewood fretboard, of course. This was before the CITES treaty stuff all came down. You know, mine is actually a mahogany neck as opposed to maple. You know, this one's all mahogany. You know, the pickups, by the way, that's a Dirty Fingers in the bridge and a Burstbucker Pro in the neck. So they are still Gibson pickups, they're just not the ones that came in it. It's very, very quirky. Mine actually came with a, you know, not a real cheap gig bag, but, you know, a very, very average Gibson gig bag. And I actually, when I bought it, I told the store to keep it because I was going to pay the extra money for a hard shell case, and that's what I did. So I don't even have the gig bag to show you. The new ones, on the other hand, come with this gig bag, and this thing's about as nice as a hard shell case. This is a killer bag. I was shocked the first time I saw it. I mean, this thing offers a lot of padding and a lot of protection. I'm not sure I would go checking it on any airlines, but, you know, beyond that, you know, I wouldn't be afraid to, you know, if I had to stack another guitar or something on top of it, I wouldn't be worried about what was going to happen to this thing on the inside. This is a very, very nice gig bag. The last difference that I notice is Gibson has actually put a little bit more effort into the finish on the faded guitars. You know, it is still faded, and you can kind of see that, but you can also see a little bit of a gloss on there. So I mean, they did actually apply a little bit more lacquer to it, particularly on the back of the neck. You know, it's not an entirely all satin faded finish like you see on mine. Gibson have added a lot of new features to the current version of the Faded Series guitars. You know, to be honest, I almost wish I had one of these instead of that one, because this is a really, really good guitar. And I would as I mentioned, I do play my SG. I would probably play it more if it had more of these, you know, had this kind of build quality on it, to be perfectly honest. Sorry, Mom, I'm not getting rid of it. I still love that guitar, but had I turned 30 10 years later, Gibson would have had a better product to give you at the store. Price has increased a little bit. When I got this one, these were $6.99, brand new. These are now selling for $8.99. So, you know, they have increased by $200 in the last decade. However, there is still, you know, you're getting a lot more features with it. You know, you're getting a better nut that does an awful lot for tuning stability. The pickups, I don't know what they've done to the pickups, but they certainly sound a lot better. You're getting a maple neck instead of a mahogany neck, so it's a little bit more of a balanced tone in my opinion. And, of course, a way, way better gig bag to carry it in. No need to spend the extra money on a case. One more thing, I would like to reiterate that this guitar was lent to me by a close friend, not by Gibson. This video is not sponsored by Gibson in any way, shape, or form. All the opinions that you hear in this video are absolutely true, and I say that because if you followed my channel for a while, you know that I have been very critical of Gibson in the past. But in this instance, I think they've done a great, great job, especially for the price point that this guitar is in. So yeah, Dungeon approved. Yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board. Go check it out. You know, there are still a lot of stores that have inventory left of these. You can still buy these. You know, these are still available. You don't have to buy the brand new 2019 model if you want to save a few bucks. You know, so there is still plenty of these out there to be had. You can buy them now for well inside the $800 mark. So lots of great bargains. My friends at Pickers Grip are running a special on Pickers Grip for 2 weeks only. Now through December 26th is the last day, day after Christmas. If you are looking for a great gift, a great add-on for the guitar player in your family, I highly suggest you go over to Pickers Grip website, which will be on the screen, and also all the links will be down in the description. When you go to checkout, enter discount code Robert20 as it appears on the screen right there, and you will receive, for being a viewer and a subscriber of this channel, a 20% discount on your purchase of Pickers Grip. So thank you, Pickers Grip, for that. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the alert icon right next to it, so that you don't miss out on future content of this channel. Please leave me a comment down below. All links to all the gear used in this video and anything else that might apply will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. You know what? There are tons of young people out there that want to get involved in music and do not have the means to do so. If you are watching this video, most likely you're a musician, and many experienced musicians have tons of broken and unwanted gear lying around that they're not doing anything with. Please visit my friends at Share the Music on Facebook at the link below and learn how you and your unwanted gear can help change somebody's life.